Hi everybody and welcome to the Mental Toughness and Body Show. My name is Rob Evans and I'm your weight loss coach, health strategist and internationally published author, helping take your life, your business, your health, your fitness, your mindset, your body from where you are right now to where it is that you want to be. And you have caught me in the mobile studio again today. Very hectic day today, battling the craziness of life and business and everything else that's family related. And a car has almost run into me just then, but we've avoided it. Today I want to talk to you about snacking. Now, snacking is such a critical component of what it is that we do with our nutrition. Now, you can come at this from a few different perspectives. If you take me, for instance, what I'm trying to do for my body this year is to gain about 4 kilos of lean muscle. I'm aiming for that super hard six-pack, that really defined body, the most muscular I've ever been in my life. For me, snacking is essential. I cannot achieve the body that I want without fueling myself the right way. I work out hard, so take this morning for instance, I've done an early morning workout. It was a great workout. Now, as hard as I work out, I simply must apply that same attitude, that same energy, that same focus, that same dedication, that same consistency to my food. Why? Because if I'm working out hard, I need to fuel my body in a way that I can recover first. I can then allow the muscles to build, repair, and get ready for that next workout, which comes up in 2 days' time. So I do 3 strength sessions a week and they're very heavy. They're hard. They leave me exhausted by the end of the session. But that's the way that I want to be. The only way that I can achieve the growth that I want to is by doing that. And I have to do it over and over and over again. But there are certain elements to my training. It changes throughout the year because you can't just lift heavy all the time. So right now I'm in a training block of 4 weeks where I'm working in a range of 10 to 12 repetitions. I'm focusing on getting a muscle pump. I'm not focusing on lifting as heavy as I can, but I'm just focusing on gradually building the weight, but just making sure that I feel that muscle pump and know that I'm fatiguing and creating that stimulus. Why am I telling you this? Because even though I'm an athlete and I'm very focused on my food and training and all of those things, obviously I need to fuel myself the right way. Now you're listening to this and saying, but I'm not in that category, I don't need to do that sort of stuff. Well, wrong. My point here is that yes, you should be doing strength workouts, you should be doing cardio workouts. They may not be as intense as mine, that's fine. You don't have to work out as hard as me. But what I do need you to do is still do those workouts. And if you're doing those workouts, then you need to make sure that you're fueling yourself the right way. And a key part of that is making sure that you fuel yourself consistently throughout the day. And we're talking about every 2 to 3 hours. Now, what does that normally mean for most people? They talk about 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch and dinner, but what about the snacks in between? Now, what I eat for a snack, I'll tell you what I do in a moment, but what I do is not necessarily going to be suitable for you. It may be, but I'm going to give you a few different options. But what I want you to take away from today is the fact that it's so critically important. And if you want to achieve weight loss, if you want to achieve muscle gain, if you want to achieve more energy, if you want to achieve a better level of health for you, if you want to sleep better, then you need to focus on this just as importantly as I do. They're all outcomes that we want to achieve. It's just that the outcome is different, but your focus needs to be just as strong, just as vigilant. Now, if you're listening to this right now, I can only assume that you are wanting to be or already are in the top 1%, top 10%, top 5%, maybe it's top 20% of what it is that you do. Maybe you're in your type of business, your career, the income that you're making, the success that you're having, you're in that that category, or at least want to be. You didn't get there by doing what most other people do. Now, most other people aren't doing the things that I'm about to tell you. Why? Because they don't feel that they need to. But they're also not focused on it. And if you're not focused on anything in your life, what happens? Well, you don't get better outcomes just by them showing up by coincidence. They only show up in your life by taking purposeful, direct, consistent, focused action. And that's what we're looking for here. So when I talk about a snack, I'll tell you what I do first. Right now, and it varies through the year, because where I am with my training right now, I'm not looking to reduce my body fat levels to a level for a photo shoot. I'm not looking to do that. So I'm not eating as much plant-based food. But what I do for a snack is make sure that my morning snack, which is coming up shortly, I have a frozen protein smoothie. My formula for that is a cup of frozen fruit. My favorite is mango. About a cup full of frozen fruit. I chuck it into my NutriBullet. I put enough water in the NutriBullet to kind of just cover the mango. So there's a little bit of a gap of the water and mango on the top of it. Why? Because I don't like it so thick that I've got to eat it all with a spoon. Then I add my protein powder. Now the one that I recommend is an Isogenics one. Okay, if you want more details, reach out to me. I'll tell you the one exactly and put you in contact with my shop as to how you can get hold of it. Because it's not available in shops like over the counter. You've got to use people like me to get it. And then I'll put in something like chia seeds or flax meal or some flaxseed oil or something like that. Why? Because it's very, very high in omega-3 fats, which are essential for us, for our health. And I'll buzz all that up in the NutriBullet and down it. And it's fantastic. It's so good. Now, I will also do something similar in the afternoon. What I'll do is, in the morning, I normally have a chocolate flavour. In the afternoon, it's often a vanilla flavour. Look, frozen mango is my favourite, but I will also do frozen mixed berries sometime. Now, here's something that I want you to really listen into here. I use frozen fruit. Why? Now, I've experimented with this over many years to come up with this best formula. Frozen, it's more satisfying, right? It's more filling. And what you want to get from a snack is satiety, okay? Because you don't want to have the snack, consume the calories, and then go and eat something straight after or in 10 minutes time. And a great example of that is things like muffins, donuts, biscuits, cookies, sweet things like that. They don't fill you up. They're loaded with calories and you can eat them over and over and over. Nuts are another good example, which I'll come back to in a second. But you can't just eat those things and expect to get a different outcome. It won't work for you. So this way, the smoothie, low calories, great ingredients, really filling, will get you through to the next meal, which is going to be lunch. Now that's a really good point, Rob, because what I just said there, getting you through to the next meal. We're not eating enough in our snack to get you through to the end of the day. We're talking about getting you through to the very next meal. So it's not a sit-down meal. Now, that's what I'm doing at the moment. I do that in the morning. I do that in the evening. Morning and the afternoon. Right now in the evening, I'm not having a snack, generally. I'm only doing 5 meals right now, under instructions from my coach. Why? Because when it comes to later in the year, what we do in order to help me achieve the level of body fat that I want, help me become slimmer, I need to eat more whole foods. And that means having like veggies. It means also having more hard protein, so not smoothies. So the smoothies come out and I put in veggies and protein, like a steak, beef, chicken, fish, something like that. And I then introduce a 6th meal, which is also plant-based food and the protein. Now, if I do that now, we've got nowhere to go. Okay, so we cut a meal out, we put in the smoothies, they're still very healthy, but I need to get my body to work harder to burn off all this other fat by virtue of the extra plant-based food. That's how powerful it is. It's time for another another podcast as to how that affects your metabolic rate, but it's really powerful. So that's why I don't eat the same all year, so it gives us something to move to initiate a change. Make sense? So I wouldn't suggest that you do that. If you're seriously into training, you want to get that six-pack, you want to achieve the level of health that I've got, then again, reach out to me on the mentaltoughnessandbodyshow.com for that free consultation, and we can connect and talk about what's appropriate for you. But for right now, the smoothies are probably a really great one for you. Let me talk about some other snacks there now that I find really work well. One of the key components, macronutrients, that people generally are low in is protein in their eating. So I like to get more protein into people's snacks. The smoothies are great. You find the flavors that really suit you, and you can do that via the fruit. You can do it via the protein powder. That works really, really well. That would always be my go-to snack. Why? Because it's got all the nutrients in there that I need and you need. High in protein and tastes great. It's convenient, super quick and easy to do. You can make one from scratch in 90 seconds and be leaving the house, drinking it in the car or wherever it is that you're going. It's super, super simple and it just tastes great. Some of the other options could be as simple as a piece of fruit or a couple of pieces of fruit, depending on your goals and your body type, what it is that you're aiming to achieve. It could be a piece of fruit. It could be a little bit of low-fat yogurt, low-fat, low-sugar yogurt. It could be something like a really high-quality protein bar. Again, Isagenix have got some great ones there to help you out. For some people, it might be a protein bar plus, I like to always get some plant-based food in with my meals. So it might be a piece of fruit for you plus a protein bar. It might be some veggies and a protein bar. It could be a little salad with a bit of protein. That's a great snack for you as well. Getting in something like some rice cakes with maybe a bit of cottage cheese, low-fat cottage cheese, maybe some tomato or some avocado or something like that on top of there. So what we're doing is we're combining some plant-based food, we're combining some protein, which is in the low-fat cottage cheese. We've got some high-energy food in there too via the rice cake, which can be quite nice. Now, I mentioned nuts before. A lot of people say, oh yeah, I snack on nuts and dry fruit. And my issue with that is if I'm eating nuts, then I want to make sure that they're very, very high in omega-3. Because most of the things that we eat are high in omega-6. Our diets are very high in omega-6, but very low in omega-3. Omega-3 is the better fat. And most nuts are high in omega-6, but not omega-3. Some of your better ones are things like walnuts. They are better. And then I don't need anything other than walnuts, chia seeds and flax seeds, flax meal, flaxseed oil. Things like that, because they're the richest sources on the planet. Now, what I find is, let's just say that you have almonds. So almonds, even though there's nothing wrong with almonds and they've got some good fats in there, they're not high enough in omega-3 and they're not going to satisfy you. Even though they've got some protein in there as well, in order for you to eat enough almonds to get the protein that you need out of them, it's an enormous number, and the calories that would be involved with that would just completely make it a very, very bad choice. Because the thing with nuts is, whether it's a good fat or a bad fat, it's still got over double the calories, 9 calories in it per gram, compared to your protein or your carbohydrates. Whether they be simple carbohydrates or complex carbohydrates, they've got about the same. So we have to be really careful. So for me, eating nuts, still being hungry, but just taking a huge calorie hit, it's not a smart choice. So I would rather you not just snack on nuts. If you're going to have some nuts, add them to a salad or something, but don't just eat them by themselves, because they'll leave you hungry. They're not filling you with all the right nutrients that you need, and can be a bit of an empty calorie time bomb. So think about what you can combine them with. Add a few nuts in with your smoothie, like I do, and that can give you a greater impact, and you're still getting the nice fats in there as well. For some people, they like some more savoury stuff. So it could be some things like some cut up vegetables and some cottage cheese. Use it like a dip. Get a flavoured low-fat cottage cheese. Like in our country here, we've got some things like sun-dried tomato. We've got there's a gherkin, there's an onion and chive. All really nice ones that you can just use like a dip. And you're getting your plant-based food in there. You're getting your protein as well. It'll just keep you leave you fuller for longer, and that's a nice feeling. It might be some things like maybe a little bag of popcorn, for instance, or about 20 grams of popcorn. That can be a nice little snack for you as well. Again, Isogenics has got some really great savoury snacks in this space that you can check out. I quite enjoy those from time to time. Got 11 grams of protein in there, tastes fantastic, just enough to give you a little bit of food, a little bit of nutrients, take that, that pain out of that hunger for you, and know that you're still serving yourself really, really well. So I guess what I've given you here is just a very quick outline of a few things. I suppose I should quickly tell you some of the things that I would avoid on top of the nuts. Things like muesli bars. Okay, very high in calories, very high in sugar, very low to non-existent in plant-based food, high in complex carbohydrates. Just not an awesome choice for you at all. Things that are sweet, like really sweet. Things like muffins, cookies, biscuits, cakes, lollies, things like that. Flavoured milks. I'm not talking about smoothies here. I'm talking about flavoured milks. Milk drinks that are pre-prepared, because what are they high in? Sugar, and high in calories, and sometimes fat, and not great choices for you. So when you're snacking, I want you to think about, is this going to get me closer to where it is that I want to get to with my health and my body, or is it taking me further away? Now, before you say, oh, well, I couldn't live like that, I need to have this from time to time. Time to time is okay, but what I find is that, like the chocolate chip cookie, for instance, rather than it being a once in a blue moon, becomes a couple of times a week, and then it becomes 4 times a week, and then it becomes every day or 5 times a day, and 5 times a day, 5 times a week. And then you might find it does come just a daily habit, and before you know it, you're just consuming these things mindlessly without even really thinking about, is this taking me closer to where I want to get to or further away? Of course you can have these things. There are no bad foods as such. It's just that the way that we tend to consume them can have bad impacts on us. So having a cookie from time to time is okay. But if you do it every day, then I'd suggest to you that that's probably not serving your body in the best possible way. You're taking on a lot of calories, you're taking on a lot of sugar, you're taking on a lot of fine, refined sugars, a lot of fat, and it's just not serving your body in the best way. And it's going to leave you feeling not as great as you could if you picked another choice, okay? Like any of the ones that I suggested there. It's cleaner eating, it'll make you feel better, less bloated, and more focused and energized. And that's ultimately what we want. Now, you're only going to do this if you have faith in what I'm saying and understand that fueling yourself better is going to get you way better outcomes in every single area of your life. All because of the reasons that I just said before about energy and focus and feeling less bloated, having a better body, feeling more self-confident, dropping kilos. I've had clients that have just removed things like sugary drinks and, say, biscuits, muffins, that sort of stuff, cookies, cakes. Just remove those or dramatically cut them down, and have had amazing results with how much they've lost, just because it's a change of habit. Replaced it with something else, and if you put the right foods into your body, they work for you. If you put the wrong foods in, or too much of the wrong foods in, they work against your body. Plant-based food's a great example. The more plant-based food that you eat, and I'm excluding potato from this category. Your digestive system has to work really hard to digest this food, to process it, and that increases your metabolism. That burns more fat. Okay? Once you get your head around those concepts, then that starts to change the way that you live. And when you do that more and more consistently, you get way better outcomes. Trust me, I am living proof of it. And I have so many hundreds, thousands probably of clients that could vouch for the fact that, yes, I feel so much better. I feel less bloated. I feel more energized. I feel really great. I'm finally losing weight. I'm finally getting to that body that I want. I'm getting compliments about the way that I look. That feels good. It's great for your self-confidence, self-image, not to mention the impact that it has on your health. So please, 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 snack. Snack frequently. Try and get 5 to 6 meals in a day, 2 to 3 snacks. Make better choices in your snacks, and you watch just how much better you feel. If you want more information about this, or how you can get hold of some of the Isogenics products, or just get yourself going in the right direction, go to thementaltoughnessandbodyshow.com, opt in for the free consultation. Let's make 2021 your healthiest year ever. Stay safe. See you tomorrow.